G'day, I'm Spunge, your host on the Week in Waves, and we're coming to you from the beautiful island of Nusa Lembongan in Indonesia with the famous break shipwrecks right behind us. So you can zoom in and check out the waves that are starting to pump in on the incoming tide, or you can just listen to our special guest today. Has an incredible story. At the age of 16, his life took an unexpected, life-changing experience. He was involved in a horrific downhill skateboard accident, struck by a car which resulted in losing his leg just above the knee and numerous other life-threatening injuries. A keen surfer at the time of the accident, all he wanted to do was just get back into the surf. Through sheer determination, resilience and a positive mindset, he not only returned to the waves but also built an incredible surfing career. He became the first ever Welsh adapting surfing world champion, and in fact the first ever world surfing champion in any category in Wales. A three-time ISA World Para Surfing Champion, has competed in 52 events with 51 podium finishes. My guest today, affectionately known as Sponge throughout the world surfing community and his mates back home, Llywelyn Williams. G'day, mate.
Hey, mate. How are you doing?
Thanks for joining me here on the
for
Week
having
in Waves.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a beautiful day, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful morning, I should say. Nice
Looks
and early.
promising.
Yeah, it's fucking great. So, yeah, how'd that happen?
So I was on my way home one night in September, the day before I was meant to start college, and I got struck by a car, and I woke up in hospital, and I can't really remember much of it, to be honest. I just kind of built my own story in my head of what people have told me, and I think I built my own vision of what happened and how a hospital was, and yeah, it was kind of went to sleep for a few months, I guess. So I went into a coma, fell asleep, and then I woke up. My friends and family were there, fully supportive, and they were like, "You've lost your leg," and I kept coming in and out of sleep. And yeah, when I eventually woke up properly, I kind of already knew I had one leg, and it was like, oh, this is it. So yeah, my friends and family pushed me, supported me, and yeah, the whole community at home really have just had my back and pushed me to where I am now.
You said through our conversations while meeting each other that while in hospital, when you're in that coma, you had like a vision of some kind.
Yeah, so I think, well, probably the first time I came out of the coma or the last time I came out of the coma, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I was heading towards the bright light, and
Like
as in
bright light.
the gateway to heaven, like you see in movies kind of stuff.
Wow.
And I was like zooming towards it, and then a bald shadow came out of nowhere and said that "Don't amser i chdi," which means it's not your time in Welsh. And he just whacked me in the chest, and I zoomed away from the light, and I woke up, and that's when I saw my friends and family, which was
And you
kind of
discussed,
bizarre.
wow. Did you discuss that with your parents? And
Yeah, well, I told my mum that. I didn't really think much of it, but later on I think in the car on the way home, I told my mum that I saw that, and she was like, no way. And that's where my dad's best mate died. The first room I went to in hospital, my dad's best mate died in that room with brain cancer. So he had no hair, and yeah, I saw a bald man, and then I felt like it was him telling me it's not my time yet, and yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Wow. So you got out of hospital, I'm guessing lots of rehab with all the injuries sustained, losing the leg, etc. And so did it take you a while to get back into the water, or was you just straight back into it?
I was fully driven to get back in the water. I went home in my wheelchair, and yeah, my mum got me a multi-gym at home. All my friends were coming over to work out, because I went from 11.5 stone to 6 stone, so I lost half my weight, and I can remember trying to lift 1 kilogram in hospital bed, and it was too heavy for me.
Wow.
So yeah, it progressed from that onwards, and then my grandmother, sadly just passed away now, she made me like a Sunday roast every night. So whoever came to see me in hospital, they'd bring me a Sunday roast off my nan instead of eating the hospital food. And
to beef you back up, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sunday roast and home cooked meals and McDonald's.
Was that losing the weight just because of either the hospital food or just being in hospital with that injury in your body, just trying to put all the energy into back of the injuries? I don't know. Or-
I woke up and I was skinny.
Wow.
So yeah, I was a
Different kid again.
Yeah.
Not
so
only just
year
losing
11,
it.
I played rugby, played sports, and well, surfed. And then I woke up and I was just bone. You could see all my ribs, rib cage and stuff. I got pictures of like, holding around my friends, and I'm just like a skeleton.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that was just in the coma stage, I guess. I just lost all the
Yeah.
all the weight.
And getting back into the water, how long did the doctors or the physio say that you could, get back in?
Yeah, well-
I guess you were so keen to
Yeah.
do it again.
So my family booked Christmas dinner. So I got right over in September. My family booked Christmas dinner in intensive care in Liverpool. But magically, I made it home before Christmas. And the doctors and the nurses were amazed how quick I recovered from all the injuries I had. And for me then, it's still blank. I can't really remember it. So people ask me what happened. I'm like, oh yeah, I got run over by a car, woke up in hospital with one leg. And it was just a new challenge of life then to get used to the way it was with one leg.
So when laying in the hospital bed alone, when family or friends weren't visiting,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts just sitting there while awake when you were out of the coma?
Yeah. So I woke up tied. They tied my hands to the bed because I was trying to pull all the cables out. So I had the tracheostomy and pipes into my lungs and pipes in my arms and everywhere. And yeah, I woke up tied to the bed and all I could move was my head when I was in coma. So I've got a massive a bed wound on the back of my head.
Oh, bed sore.
Yeah, bed sore.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about this big.
Shit.
That still hasn't grown hair back on it. So there's a picture of that. It went from red to purple to yellow to white. So I think it went all the way through to the bone.
Yeah, they're like an ulcer, basically, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's still about this big. It's just like
You can
when
feel it
when
in
I
there.
touch it, I feel like my fingers inside my head. It's weird.
Oh, yuck. That's crazy.
Yeah, but since then, I don't know. I remember my parents telling me you've lost a leg. And I was like, yeah, okay, going back to sleep. Kept doing that for a while. Then when I woke up, my best mate Will was there, and he asked, "What do you want to do?" And I went, "I want to go to Australia, and I want to surf again and do it better than I did before." And he was like, "All right." And he held my hand, and then when I turned 18, I wheelchaired myself into the kitchen. Dad had visa and flights to Australia. My best mate walked through the door, and there we went. Did a year traveling Australia and saw the whole coast from Bundaberg all the way around to Perth. So that was a life-changing. That was another life-changing
I opened
moment.
to the
So
another country. You
traveling-
surfed as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So surfing, we had like a little surf spot guidebook. It was only like this big, it was tiny, and so we were just ticking off the surf breaks on that, and
Bucket list?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great. Well, we didn't even have a bucket list. So we landed in Sydney,
Yeah.
went to Manly, and then from that we just bought a cheap little Holden car and then just drove wherever we went. It was like, oh, we're going here. So we just ticked off beaches on the way.
You got home, and so obviously you wanted to surf continually,
Yeah.
and you got into adaptive surfing. There was an opening of some kind for you to
Yeah,
compete?
so in 2015 they held the first ISA Parasurfing World Championships in La Jolla. And I saw pictures of that advertising on social media.
That's in Wales?
No, that's in California,
Oh,
in La Jolla.
La Jolla.
La Jolla,
Yeah, San
yeah.
Diego. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So I saw pictures of that advertising and I was like, oh, how do I get into this? But I was too late because I needed a federation behind me. I needed to be representing the country kind of stuff. And I was all new to it. So 2015 I missed out. And then 2016 I got with Sarah and we were like, right, let's do this. So Sarah was saying what I should post, but I was putting my own words on Facebook on a couch. And then I posted that within 2-3 weeks. Surfability from South Wales got in contact, which is like a school for kids with disabilities and stuff. They got in contact with the Welsh Surfing Federation, and we were flying out to California to represent Wales on my own that year. So yeah, and I placed 5th. That's the only comp I haven't podiumed on, the first one.
The first one?
Yeah,
Wow.
and that was again another fucking eye opener because at home I was the only one with a disability surfing. And then went there to the beach, people in different wheelchairs, different arms, different legs, all these like tank wheelchairs and stuff. And it was just like, whoa, there's loads of us. So
So when you say adaptive, is that a category of different people with being amputees?
Yeah,
or
adaptive. So it's disability. So it started as adaptive surfing. So people that adapt to their injuries or disability and they surf. And now, because we're aiming for the Paralympics, they've changed it to parasurfing. So it's now ISA Parasurfing instead of ISA Adaptive Surfing Championship.
But the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
So is there different categories for that? Like you have those other surfers, obviously you with one leg.
Yeah.
Is there arm amputees
Yeah,
and
so
stuff like that?
there's 9 different divisions. So I'm in the kneeling upright it's called now. So we were separated. So there's guys that surf on one foot and one hand. And then there's me that surf on my knee. And then there's people with arm disabilities, spinal bifida, triple amputees, wheelchair users, it's blind. Yeah, it's just mind-blowing seeing these
That's
people
incredible,
surf.
eh?
Yeah.
They're all out there surfing.
Yeah.
Blind, you said?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So they have a guide for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, they have a guide. So I'd surfed Thomas de Silva from France. Just, he's probably about 24. And he's just super cool. He lost his sight when he was like 9. And he's tour guides around Biarritz. He takes people on tours because he can remember how the city's built and he can kind of still see stuff. And yeah, so I took him out surfing as his guide.
Through his mind, just of
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Still
so it's like snapshots.
knows
that
it
he
all.
does. Yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
wherever we go, he'll like drop his stick and he'll walk around the house. So he'll like map the house we're in, where the toilet is, and blah, blah, and then he'll remember. And he's like walks into a wall and he's like, haha, yeah, not that way. No, it comes the other way. But then he's like memorized the whole layout of the house, which is crazy. So I took him surfing. I asked him, oh, where's your guide? And he was like, oh, I don't know, in the lineup. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll take you back. He was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, where is he? And he was like, I don't know, I can't see. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. So I was like, oh, there's a wave coming now. But like, what do you want me to say? He was like, oh, just so 3, 2, 1, go. And tell me right or left. And then he just like, wave come in, turn around, 3, 2, 1, pop. And he pops up and he just rides the wave all the way to the beach.
It's just straight.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, it like goes across the green.
Really?
Yeah,
Angled?
he can turn and everything. It's great. Yeah.
Barrels?
Huh? I don't know. I don't know, but you can ride the green wave and you can up and down and do turns and stuff.
That's
Just
amazing.
from feeling the wave.
There was another fella from Brazil, I remember. He was blind. I can't think of his name.
Okay.
But there was a big thing on him where he got out in the water as
Yeah.
well. Not sure if he had surfed before, but it was like definitely. I'm sure he was from Brazil.
Yeah, okay.
So how do you surf though? With one leg? You said it's on your knee, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of surfing in like a drop knee position because I was a regular stance surfer before.
So like a bodyboarder would drop knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was still face in a regular stance, I guess, instead of straight. I don't use my stump at all, so it's just this one knee, and then depends which way I'm going, I grab the rail to maneuver the opposite side of my knee.
For the rail.
Yeah.
For the turns.
Yeah. So I can move my knee, grab that rail if I'm going, which way I'm going? Going right, my knee would be on the top side of a board, and then switch it to go left.
Yeah, when I caught a wave and I was paddling out yesterday and I saw you take off, and I just saw you just gunning for the barrel, and I just like,
Yeah.
I always had that side vision, and it was like, oh fuck, he's in there.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's great because I'm on my knee.
Yeah.
If it's waist height, it's still head height for me.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So like yesterday, it was like 4 times over my head, and I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was a couple of good sets that come through yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's
so
fun.
you disappeared before the set.
yeah.
Like, oh, he's
Yeah, I'm
going.
not getting cleaned up again.
No.
Been through there, done that. Yeah. So after that first ISA comp in La Jolla, San Diego, California, you went home and then you competed again through that program?
Yeah. So the ISA opened doors for everyone, really. Everyone with a disability was surfing, and then competitions just started popping up all over the place. People wanted to do their own stuff, and disability surfing days are popping up around the world. So there's a parasurfing league that does most of the comps around Europe. So France, Spain. I think they're doing one in Germany this year, and all sorts. And then we did England, and I ran three Welsh parasurfing competitions in the wave pool we had in Snowdonia. Sadly, that's closed down now, and then the last one we did, I moved it to Bristol in England.
Why'd they close it down?
Just maintenance, because it was the first ever wave pool inland wave pool kind of stuff. So it's the old, it's like a plow that goes back and forth.
Okay, so older technology.
Old technology, yeah. So I think they're going to get that redone into more of the Bristol kind of the wave technology.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened, and then yeah, it's just grown. It's gone mental. I think 2 years ago we did 13 comps, so the Parasurfing League, and then what we're doing after this is the AASP World Tour, which is the Association of Adaptive Parasurfing. So the last 2 years we've had, last year was Australia, Costa Rica, Hawaii, and the US. This year is going to be Australia, Hawaii, and the US. So yeah, we're here training. Luckily, I found a right in Indonesia. I haven't been here since 2013, so came here, easy access to the beach. I've already told my friends in wheelchairs and stuff they want to come do a week or two after the comp. So I'm like, this is the spot. Because it's just, you can stay there, you can wheelchair there, they can just crawl onto the boat, and then Bobby takes you out.
Yeah,
It's just,
good old Bobby.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just mine still. Life's a journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the journey for the Australia competition, March 23 at Byron Bay, the pass, hence training on a right-hander.
Yeah.
Probably not as gnarly as that,
No.
but you've still got that rights that you've been practicing on.
Yeah, exactly. So at home, I surf left all the time.
Right.
So again, I was talking to Sarah. Sarah's been a huge support through all this over the 9 years. She videos me on every wave. We analyse. We try different
That's
boards.
your partner?
Yeah, my
Yep.
partner. Yeah. So she runs the boards down. I'd switch them over. We'll do like a couple of waves, video analysis, and then we'll put good points and bad points about the boards, and then that's how I got to where I am on these boards now. I've got like 15 different boards at home that I'll try, and I'm like, nah. If you when you get on a board and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Even when you paddle it, it's like, nah, this ain't gonna work. So I was like, oh yeah, it was changing boards, because I was on like standard surfboards, and then I tried, well, in 2019 maybe, I was in La Jolla, 2018, 2019. I was in La Jolla and Bird Surf Shed. I went down there because he's got loads of classic knee boards and stuff on the roof there. So I went down there and said, I want to try a knee board. So he lent me 4 knee boards, and I only tried the Ramonski from 1984, and it was just like an egg shape with like a flat tail with like 2 little kicks in, twinny, and my surfing just changed from that.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I should have listened to people years ago, because they was like, oh, you should try a knee board. But the Ramonski's fins were still quite far back, where like the modern knee boards, I guess if the modern, the fins are underneath your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
forward.
it's way too twitchy for me, because I kind of lean back on the tail, and when I lean back on the tail and the fins are further forward, it just slides around.
So your board's adapted on that model, but you have your fins back like a normal
Like
short board.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I took the boards back to him and I said, thank you very much for the boards. And then he just said, oh, you can have the board. I'll gift you the board. I was like, no way.
Oh.
And we'd already left the board there and driven. But luckily, Surfability, Ben, he was heading to the shop, and then he brought it back to Wales for me. And yeah, I surfed that for a few years. And then in Pismo, sadly, I tried to shoot the pier, and this pillar just destroyed it on the pillar.
Oh.
So I kind of like ripped it out, lost a fin, and I was like, oh, that was a day before the comp. I kind of have a routine of breaking my boards just a day before the comp. For some reason.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it happened in Oz last year as well. Like popped a fin at the pass. This longboard just nailed me, and I was like, ah. And luckily I found a guy from Cornwall that was there fixing boards. So we got it all done in less than 12 hours, and he was like, yeah, brought it back to my van. I was like, here you go, mate. Good
Awesome.
luck. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah. So entering those competitions, you won in 21, 22, 23, is that, or 20 as world champion?
What year are we now? 24?
25, so
Yeah,
you won
24,
3 world
23,
champs. Yeah.
22. Yeah, back to back.
Yeah.
2021, I was in the final, and the last 3 minutes I took this wave and caused myself an interference. So that was a kick in the backside, but you learn from your mistakes, and now I watch everyone.
So you got 26 gold medals, numerous, obviously silver and bronze, and that is all through the ISA?
No.
No.
So the ISA is once a year. That'll be in November, the World Championships, where you represent your country. And then with the Parasurfer League and the ASAP, you're representing yourself, kind of stuff. So yeah, but before them two tours started, they were just standalone events. The countries were trying it, and we were flying around the countries. And luckily, we got sponsored, so it made it a lot easier over the last few years.
And you have this determination to surf big wave surfing. You've paddled out, surfed Sunset Beach and Backdoor Pipeline as well.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Trying, like my home break gets pretty gnarly. So it's a big left wedge, so the swell comes in from southwest, it rebounds off the cliff, and then it just creates like just a peak. And it gets over steep, but it's big, and then it goes out, but scary.
Good training ground then for
Yeah,
pipe.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, I can surf pipe, I can surf pipe. And then I realized how much water moves in pipe compared to home. It just feels like the whole ocean's behind it. Which again, it's all love, and I love challenges, so.
And how did the surfers out there accept you out in the water when you took off at pipe?
It was good. Everyone was super friendly. It kind of got into a routine. Everyone's like, oh, pipe's just full. Like, you're never going to get a wave. But I kind of had a little spot I sat, the same guys were around me, and we all kind of took turns from that spot if the wave was in the right place. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Barrels?
Yeah.
Wow. Deep?
No, I tried to get out of it. I'm just trying to get ahead of it before I get smashed.
Few wipeouts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I think I learned how to surf from wiping out. So a guy at home, Johnny Ofaxis, sadly passed away a few years ago. But when I was surfing, so we've got two beaches, Hell's Mouth and Podcaria. And Hell's Mouth is kind of like it's an easier wave. And then we moved to Podcaria. Then he was there, and like all the local guys were out, and the set came in, and he was like, everyone was like, go, go, go. And I looked to my right, and the wave was just, I was like, oh no. And then I heard his voice, and he was like, go. And I was like, I've got to go now. And I just went straight over the falls, got smashed on the sand, just flat on the sand, couldn't move, feel my leash pulling me. And then came back up, same kind of thing as you. Then another one took me, and then I paddled back around, and I paddled back to him, and he was like, how was that? I was like, I nearly drowned. And he was like, yes, that's how you do it. And then since then, I've just been like, oh yeah, maybe that's it. You're just going to go down and kind of learn where to be and read the waves. Don't be here.
Yeah, don't be
And
here.
don't be here. So you got to like judge where to be.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Sunset, was it outside peak, out the back, or just on that little inside?
Out the back.
Out the back?
Yeah.
How big?
Well, for me, I'm on my knee, probably this roof.
All right, so maybe 8 foot faces or so? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
And
nice.
there's a Brazilian guy, Pirata. He lives out there now, so he surfs there all the time. And another strange story is when I was in hospital, my stepmother, Alyssa, she Googled, is disabled surfing possible? And she found Pirata, which surfs in the same division as me now. And so she was like, oh, look. So I was watching videos of Pirata when I was in my hospital bed. And then later on, I met him,
Wow.
which was like, no way, I've been watching you when I was 16 in hospital bed. And then again, when I was 18, I went to Australia, I went to Byron Bay, I went to Woolies. And the guy's like, oh, were you surfing the beach this morning? I was like, oh, no, I was surfing the pass. And he was like, oh, I swear there's a guy with one leg out there. And it was Mark Mono Stewart. So it was like I was in his town when I was 18, but never crossed paths with him. And then I'd later met him in the competitions.
Right.
Yeah.
Beat him?
Huh?
You beat him?
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting
You seem
there,
to be
it's getting
beating
good.
everyone.
Yeah, it's getting good. Yeah, the sport's growing, and like the divisions are getting tough, and everyone's super competitive. Like we're all friends on the beach and all that, but as soon as that horn goes, like my first comp, all friendly on the beach. People are like, oh yeah, you need to do this, blah, blah. And then as soon as that horn went, no one talked to me out in the ocean. So I was like, what's going on here? And then over the years, I've always said, oh yeah, it's a competition. We can't just have a chat in the heat. So yeah, learning a lot from different people through the whole sport.
Right. Aspirations, also, as you mentioned before, with the Olympics. So what do we got next? We got 2028 in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And are they taking that on?
No, so we were down to the last two sports to be picked. because apparently with the Olympics, Paralympics, there was only a certain amount of medals they can give out. They can't just make more medals because then it wouldn't be an Olympic sport if they include everything. What I've kind of gathered from it. And then, yeah, so we were down to parasurfing or paraclimbing, and we were really pushing it and driving it, and people were getting classified from all over the world with Mo Johnson. So she does all the classification and see who goes in which division. And yeah, we were down to the last two, and then we thought, oh, it's in LA. It's got to be surfing. But sadly, climbing took the spot in this one. But
Climbing.
yeah, paraclimbing.
Right.
Yeah, so the next aim now is Brisbane 2032.
Right. Oh, that'd definitely have to be on down the Goldie, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would have
Snapper,
thought.
right-hander. Wouldn't
Like
that
you
be
said
great?
yesterday, it's the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of Oz. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, it'd be
awesome.
good.
So a few more years of training, more ISA competitions in between every year. You said they are on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's
great.
the plan, and then come here more often, I think.
It's a beautiful place to do that. Yeah. You can see a little set coming
there.
through yet. So you also give back a lot to the surf. Very environmentally conscious, and also started up your own, or like a little league for those adaptive surfers
Yeah.
back home in Wales.
Yeah, so with the help of the sponsor, the Mailing Room, that's been sponsoring me for 5 or more years now, and Spencer Hunt, Tyndon Caravan Park, O'Neill Europe give me the wetsuits. That for me, I get like 4 wetsuits from a year to keep through the different seasons. And yeah, Mencap and Absorc Regatta, they've all been helping to push me and help me to grow like a disability surfing club at home. Because the only one in the UK that it's in South Wales, and there's nothing really in North Wales for people with disabilities. So yeah, I've been doing that for the last 3 years now, and hoping to grow that and have more events through the year. Again, the Mailing Room put 12 of the local people in the village through a course as adaptive surfing instructors last year. So we've got a board, we've got like a 12-foot board off JP surfboards. It's got like a bucket, like a rally seat on it, so wheelchair users can sit down.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or there's a 7-foot board with handles on it so they can lie down if they want. And then people else will just use foamies. But yeah, they're going to 2 beach wheelchairs at home. So yeah, just trying to build it. It's taken, obviously everything takes time. So yeah, we're going to try and push it this year. So we got Australia, then Hawaii in May, and then September. So I've got enough time between the comps to concentrate on that and concentrate on my own clothing brand, which is Hop On Clothing.
Yeah, that
And-
is very tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, so yeah, Hop Along Clothing. Yeah, that's great. Sponge's clothing company. Yeah, so how's that going for you?
It's going good.
Yeah.
It's been kind of hectic with the surf and working at home because I work for a family company as well. So we drive excavators at home, do like 8 hours a day, and then try and surf in between and concentrate on my fitness. So it's kind of a really busy lifestyle. But we do get to come places like this. And again, it's kind of not a holiday because I got to train, I got to stay fit, I got to surf as much as I can. But yeah, we get to see places like this, new places, meet new people like yourself, and then yeah, it's just one big journey.
Awesome. So March 23, if you're in the Byron area or down the Goldie, or even if you want to check it all out, get down there for the World Adaptive Surfing Championships. Is that correct?
The World Tour.
World Tour.
Yeah, the World Tour. It's the first stop on the World Tour.
Okay, so how, with the events, if you win, is it like a point system? Or
No, so it's completely separate to the ISA. So again, yeah, in the World Tour, so it's 3 events. You'll get points to win the overall champion of the tour. And then the ISA is a standalone event where you represent your country.
So, first place, how many points is that?
I think it's 1,000 points.
1,000.
Yeah.
But it's only 3 events this year, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they dropped Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 3 events, Hawaii, where you surf in Hawaii?
It'd be Waikiki.
On
the south
Waikiki.
coast,
Yep.
Yeah,
Little
it gets-
rolling wave.
Yeah, it gets surf Queens.
Yeah. Oh, it's good sometimes if there's some swell.
Yeah, exactly.
And what that's what time of the year did you say?
May.
Oh yeah, well definitely waves over there. So
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I think they try and do it around Mother's Day in Hawaii because every time, well, they get Mother's Day swell apparently every year, so they try and do it on that same.
Why not at Bowls, Ala Moana?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's always
Maybe
there.
that's a question to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
And
you
again,
you
with
got a bit of
like Kiki as well, it's just easy. It suits everyone. It's safe for everyone with all kinds of disabilities, like high disabilities, to get out there. They'll have people on the side with assists, with the boards and stuff. And I think maybe Awana Bowls might be too shallow, depending on the tide.
little reef. Yeah.
In
You
case-
surf there yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, really fun. Busy though.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of.
I think
local-
every break on Hawaii is busy.
Some heavy locals too on the South Shore too out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Bloody-
been going there for a few years now, so yeah, we got our little friend groups. It's good.
And on that environmental thing, you into that with energy and saving energy and like power
Yeah,
and
saving
stuff.
energy. So
Yeah.
I was an ambassador for smart meters when they came out a couple of years ago, and I thought it was really interesting how
Smart meter. So
smart
what's
meters.
that?
Yeah, so it's just like it monitors all the electricity coming into your house and how much you save, and it's just a way of saving money for all people and saving energy for the country, I guess, or for the world. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff. But yeah, everything just gets busier.
Awesome. Now you can get that clothing via your social media.
Yeah,
Which is-
Hopalong Clothing on Instagram.
So it's at Hopalong Clothing
Yeah.
on the social media, and you can follow for any updates, anything. Just follow the guy. He's at Spunge.
Sponge Abyssal.
Okay, so we'll put that in the link there.
Yeah.
His accent's
So-
a little bit funny. I can't hear. So Llywelyn is your first name. So
Yeah.
how would you pronounce that in Wales? Because I just
Llywelyn. So the double L in Welsh is pronounced as Llywelyn.
Llywelyn. Yeah,
So
that's
you gotta
crazy.
like smile and
Yeah.
blow through the back of your cheeks, kind of.
Yeah, I have a very good friend. She was she still is a bodyboard, and she became a champ too, back home on the Sunshine Coast. But her surname is your first name, Kira
Yeah, okay.
Llywelyn.
Yeah.
So hello, Kira, if you're watching.
Hi.
No relation, maybe.
Nah, don't
Never
think
know,
so.
huh?
Don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
follow that family
Yeah.
tree, maybe.
Yeah.
They swapped it around, didn't want it last as the first name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, if anyone's in the Byron area and you have a Welsh flag and want to come support, like last year I posted on the Welsh and the Gold Coast page and Wales and Australia, and a lot of people came down with their own Welsh flags to support the parade and the country.
Awesome. Well, mate, it's been a pleasure meeting you,
Yeah.
and thank you very much for being our guest here on the Weekend Waves. Follow the guy, tune into, I'll put all the links down there, you can follow the competition. I'm guessing it should be a live event on
there'll be a live
YouTube or
feed,
something
yeah,
like that.
I can send that over to you.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we'll get into all of that, and to all the people out there, an aspiring story, even with two legs, the determination is there, and just with the positiveness and that
Yeah.
just sheer determination that you have portrayed to everyone. I'm just like, I'm astounded, you know, just watching you yesterday and then watching some of the films and stuff that on YouTube yesterday, just
Yeah.
watching you surf, and it was just incredible. Like he's better than me, but like most people are.
No.
So thank you, listeners, podcast watchers, and thanks to our sponsors, Volcom. Head to their website, volcom.com.au. Their outlet sale now. You can purchase 3 items, get 3 plus an extra 20% off just by adding the code Good Deal. It's at Volcom. And also to Hercules supplements. Unfortunately, nothing here, but I'll drop that in the link at the bottom. And again, Llywelyn Sponge, pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, you too,
And
mate.
I look forward to meeting you again, mate.
Oh, I'm sure we'll meet each other just out there
Yeah,
in a few minutes.
an hour or two. Well, a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's how keen he is. Thank you.
You.
You.